Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and if you find our video great, give us a subscribe for more awesome content. What's the dumbest reason you ever got hurt? My brother had a turtle. He would take it out of its pen from time to time and let it roam the yard. I watched it chomp on some grass. I picked it up and was feeding it grass, amazed at how clean it chopped the grass. So I stuck my finger in its mouth. Turn out it hurts really bad. I didn't want to hurt the guy, so I had to suffer through it until he let go. He pulled his head into his shell so I couldn't pull my finger out. Finally he let go. Long story short, don't stick your finnies where you wouldn't stick your dingy. Edit. I was 17 when this happened. I once kissed a reflection of myself on the outside of a metal toaster while in use, and seriously burned my lips. Technically my first kiss. Powder Drano, shredded aluminum foil, rubbing alcohol, and a match. Set my 12-year-old head on fire. I put on a tiger costume when I was little and thought I could bounce on his tail, jumped off my dresser and broke my tailbone. In a bad mood one morning at work. Went to take a shit. First wipe, the toilet paper hangs up on the dispenser and won't tear. I mutter, "Oh, God damn it," and give it a vigorous yank. Of course the toilet paper rips, and I've done it with enough force where I punch myself in the face and give myself a spectacular bloody nose. Circle birthday cake. I lit the candles on the outside first. Burnt my wrists, forearms trying to light the candles in the middle. Tested to see how sharp a knife was with my finger. A few years ago I woke up, went to the bathroom, and was wiping my ass when I pulled my neck. Still not sure how, but it happened. I just felt the pull and had an enormous pain. Went to the doctor, who gave me anti-inflammatory injections and had to use a collar for a weekend. I used to tell people I fall. Leaned too far back with my chair and passed the point of no return. I threw a stick into the sea, wanted the stick back and slice my foot open on some oysters, down to bone. Edit. First gold and most updates for young me for being a dumbass. Thanks Reddit. I cut myself. On my carpet. To this day I still have no idea how it happened. I was playing dodgeball in middle school when a ball flew near my leg. You see, it landed about 4 feet away from me, but that didn't stop me from overreacting. My leg kind of spazzed out and I ended up kneeing myself in the face while I had braces on. I cut up the inside of my mouth, swelled up my lips, and lied to the nurse and just said that I got hit by a ball. Tent collapsed when I was like 4 and somehow I managed to break my leg in there. Age 3, we were visiting my mum's hometown in England to see relatives when a black wasp or something managed to get in my sock and my mum put the socks on me. It stung me for a good 2 minutes straight, and even though I was so young I will never forget how painful it was and how guilty my mum felt that she didn't check the sock. I walked into a door forgetting to actually open it. Resulted in a bloody nose. When I was like 10 years, I found a box cutter in a drawer and wanted to see how sharp it was. I decided the best way to do that was to cut across the palm of my hand. It was sharp. I don't remember how painful it was, but I remember staring at my hand for a few seconds before the blood started to pour out. I fractured 2 metatarsals in my foot and currently I am in a boot riding an e-scooter. I was walking, just walking. Not running, not playing sports, not kicking a rock. Just walking. I had never seen a lacrosse ball. Didn't realize it was so bouncy and heavy. Threw it at the ground at my feet. It bounced up and hit me right in the nostrils. Blood everywhere and a newfound respect for the bouncy ball of death. I was making caramel by melting sugar in a pan. As it was cooling down I wondered if it solidified already, so I poked it with my finger. 2nd-degree burns are not fun. Getting ran over by 1,000 pounds of water jugs on a pallet while working a couple years ago. It took my toenail off but didn't break the bone. I broke my foot while putting on pants. Got involved in a bar fight because a friend of a friend called someone else gay in an argument over the jukebox, then ended up getting hit with a pool cue they'd taken from the friend. Had to be told later why I'd been suckered, and that one of the guys had flashed a pistol. Ended up getting a girlfriend out of it, But then we broke up and she had some other guy's kid. 10 years later we hooked up again, and I married her and now I'm divorced, so really the whole story is just bad from start to end. Edit, thanks for the awards. My first gold, I'll put them to good use. Smile. When I was a kid I put my finger into pencil sharpener and my fingernail cracked all the way down. Acted on a call of the void and put my hand into a toaster. I told my parents I fell and the hand landed in the toaster. I don't think they bought it. An ex-boyfriend of mine tore his hamstring in his sleep. His bed was under the sloped roof and in his sleep he'd hooked his foot behind a beam and then turned over. He'd tell people it was a soccer accident. Playing baseball with some friends. All I did was stand up from the catcher position to throw a guy out at second. Completely ripped my Achilles. I had this fake blood I was going to use for a Halloween costume. It was basically this little plastic container of red gelatin you were supposed to put in the microwave for 10 seconds and then apply it before it went solid again. Think like candle wax. What happened instead was I took the container out and put it in the palm of my hand. The bottom of the container had melted slightly and it burned my palm. In my shock, I flipped the container up into the air and then tried to catch the scalding hot liquid that splashed everywhere. The skin on my hand immediately began to sag. I don't remember if they were second or third degree burns, but my hand looked fucking rotten for weeks after that. Don't try to catch a liquid, especially when it's basically acid. Ooh, here's my time to shine. Yesterday I saw some crumbs on the ground and instead of sweeping them, I swiped them with my foot, but instead my foot missed the crumbs and I tripped, in which my ankle hit the bottom corner of the cabinet. Hurt like a bitch, but it made me laugh, which made it hurt even more. Cut my elbow in a sharp thing in between a bathtub and a windowsill. So sharp I didn't feel it, only noticed when I saw the blood. One of my few scars. I played prisoner and guard with my brother. He was the guard and had my hands tied behind my back and my legs tied with the end of the rope in his hand. When I tried to jump away, he pulled the rope. I got bumped on the head by a gilded organ pipe that fell from the facade when I was playing full organ. I stapled my fingers to see what would happen. Broke my left arm because I fell off a scooter. Edit, clarification, the scooter wasn't moving, and it was 2 inches off the ground. Slinging my school backpack on my foot, accidentally, breaking my big toe. I swung my door into my foot, meaning I managed to stub my toe without moving my foot. Broke my collarbone by falling down one stair. Just one. I took my shirt off and got a muscle spasm. I was at a trampoline park in Arkansas and was 3 months before my 14th birthday. I tried to do a backflip into the foam pit and nearly killed myself. My back still hurts now, 6 years later. Not me, but my sister. We were riding our bikes, and she almost fell. She said, "Did you see that?" I did this, and proceeded to repeat her almost fall, actually fall, and managed to hurt herself in the leg. I was throwing rubber rings in the deep end of a pool and diving for them. I would normally hold the edge of the pool to use it as a push-off point to get more speed to the bottom. I was too close to the edge when I pushed myself down and essentially cocked my head back and smashed my face on the edge of the pool, breaking my front teeth into pieces. Blood everywhere. When I was like 7, me and my dad were playing football together. When it was my turn to be the goalie, my dad thought that there was no way I'd be able to protect the 7-meter goal by myself, so he kicked it as hard as he could. But being the master goalie that I am, I caught the ball and it twisted my arm around and broke it. What makes it worse is that my parents didn't believe me when I said that it was broken, so I had to ride my bike home for an hour with a broken arm. Yikes. I sprained my ankle by falling down the steps of a school bus. I had to be wheeled past the cafeteria in a wheelchair to get to the nurse's office during lunch. Was sitting on the floor hammering a nail into something, lost grip, then the hammer bounced out of my hand and landed on my dick. Sneezed so hard that something between my shoulder and neck popped. Couldn't turn my head properly for 2 weeks because of the sharp pain, as if someone stuck a giant needle in there and pushed really hard. I wanted to jump on my bed like kids seemed to do in TV shows. Those TV shows never pointed out how slippery blankets are when you do that, and I ended up headbutting my bedpost and bleeding everywhere. I now have a 2 centimeter scar above my left eye. Haha, usually I can't contribute to these things, but now I can. It was my birthday and we have a balcony that's like 3 meters of the ground. So my smallest friend, who's like made of rubber, jumps off twice and is fine. So I do it and break 3 toes, metatarsals if you want to be fancy. I fell off a fake horse and broke my arm. The fake horse was a 1 meter high barrel with legs. Tried to jump off a swing and let go before preparing myself to jump. Dropped like 8 feet and lay there in the dirt completely winded. In high school cooking 1, my group was making some fried potato slices. Well, it was my job to cut the potatoes, so I rip open the bag of potatoes, grab one and put it on the cutting board. As I get up to go grab a knife from the drawer, my friend notices I'm bleed a shit ton. The left side of my left thumb had been cut deeply and was bleeding a lot. The teacher rushed me to the nurses and I was laughing the whole way. I have a super high tolerance for pain, so I never noticed, but the crazy thing is that I didn't even have a knife yet. There was no knife that had ever been taken out, and I ripped open the bag with my hands, not a knife or scissors. I actually cut myself on a